All right, so we'll get back to section 2.1 and 2.2. We're on problem 7 here in this worksheet. We want to find an equation for a line containing the point 2, negative 3 and is parallel to the line 2x plus y equals 6. Rate your answer in slope-intercept form. Okay, so here I've got a point that's not on the line that I'm given. It's on some other line that I got to find. And also the line that I have to find has to be parallel to the one that I'm given here. The first thing I have to know is the slope of the line that I'm given. Okay, so if we get this into slope-intercept form, let's subtract 2x from both sides. Y equals negative 2x plus 6. So the slope of this line is negative 2. And any line that would be parallel to this one must also have a slope of negative 2. Okay, so I know the slope, it's negative 2. I also know a point on the line. And let's go ahead and use the point-slope equation next. So I got y minus a negative 3, the same as y plus 3, equals the slope is negative 2 times x minus 2. Okay, and then get that in slope-intercept form. So y plus 3 equals negative 2x plus 4. And then we subtract 3 from both sides. Y is equal to negative 2x plus 1. Okay, now I know that this line here and this line that I was given, these are parallel lines, right? Because they've got the same slope, negative 2. I know that they're different lines because they're going to cross through the y-axis at two different spots there. Okay, let's take a look at problem 8 next. So we want to find an equation for a line containing the point 1, negative 2 and is perpendicular to the line x plus 3y equals 6. Write your answer in slope-intercept form. Okay, so here I've got a point, and it's not on the line that I'm given. It's on some other line that I got to find. Also, this line has to be perpendicular to the line that I'm given. Okay, so the first thing that I need to know is the slope of this line that I'm given. So let's go ahead and get this into slope-intercept form and solve for y. If I subtract x from both sides, 3y equals negative x plus 6. And then divide by 3. So y is equal to negative 1/3 x plus 2. So the slope of this line is negative 1/3, which means that any line that's going to be perpendicular to this one here has to have a slope of 3, because 3 is the negative reciprocal of negative 1/3. If I take 3 times negative 1/3, I get negative 1. Okay, so I know the slope is 3. I also know a point on the line. And the next thing would be to use the point-slope equation. So I got y minus a negative 2, the same as y plus 2, equals the slope, 3, times x minus 1. Okay, and let's solve for y. So y plus 2 is equal to 3x minus 3. If I then subtract 2 from both sides, y is equal to 3x minus 5. That'd be the answer. Okay, and I know that these lines are perpendicular. This one here and this one, that's my answer, because the slopes are negative reciprocals, right? If I take 3 times negative 1/3, I get negative 1. Okay. So, you know, when I look at problems 7 and 8, like it's pretty much the same problem. You just got to get the slope correct. Okay. Once you have the slope figured out, then you're using the point-slope equation and then solving for y. Okay. Let's try problem 9. So I need to find an equation for a line passing through the point negative 3/2 1 and is perpendicular to the line containing the points negative 3, negative 5, and negative 4, 0. Write your answer in slope-intercept form. Okay, so the first thing that I have to know would be the slope. of this line passing through these 2 points. So change in y over change in x. It's going to be 0 minus negative 5, or 0 plus 5, divided by negative 4 plus 3. That's going to be 5 over negative 1 is negative 5. Okay, so I know the slope is negative 5. Now, any line that's going to be perpendicular to this one has to have a slope that's a negative reciprocal of negative 5. Well, the negative reciprocal of negative 5 would be 1/5. So if I take 1/5 times negative 5, I get negative 1. All right, so the slope is 1/5, and we know a point on this line. So let's use the point slope equation next. Okay, we got y minus y1 is 1 equals the slope is 1/5 times the quantity x plus 3/2. Okay, get that in the slope-intercept form. So if we solve for y minus 1 is equal to 1/5 x plus 3 over 10. If I then add 1 to both sides, y is equal to 1/5 x plus 3 over 10 plus 10 over 10. That'd be plus 13 over 10. Okay, so there's a little bit of information with parallel and perpendicular lines in these sections. Okay, so let's go to the next page here. We'll try problem, we got problems 10 and 11 left. So problem 10, they want us to find the intersection of the lines h of t equals 3t minus 4 and j of t equals 5 minus t. Okay, these two equations are lines, and you need to find out where they intersect. So if I set the lines equal to each other, you got 3t minus 4 equals 5 minus t. Let's solve for t. If we add t and add 4, 4t is equal to 9, divided by 4, so t is equal to 9/4. Okay, so knowing that t is 9/4 means that if I plug in 9/4, I get the y value here. I just plug it into this function. So 5 minus 9/4. 5 is the same as 20 over 4. So I have 20 over 4 minus 9 over 4. That's 11 over 4. Okay, so these 2 points, or these 2 lines, excuse me, are going to intersect each other at the point 9/4, 11/4. And circle that answer there. Okay. Now, also in these sections, there's a couple of story problems related to lines. So if we take a look at problem 11, it says Luis contracted with a landscaper to install a brick patio in his backyard. The landscaper charged $10,000. Luis paid the landscaper a deposit for the first month and agreed to make a fixed monthly payment until the balance was paid in full. After 3 months, Luis owed $6,800, and after 7 months, Luis still owed $5,200. Okay, in part A, I want us to find the slope-intercept equation for Luis's balance, y, after x months. And then once we have that equation, we'll interpret the slope. Now, the last 2 sentences in this summary here are really them telling me 2 points on this line. So x is the months, and y is the balance. After 3 months, he owes $6,800. So that means that the point 6,800 is on the line. Also, after 7 months, he owes $5,200. Okay, so the point 7, 5,200 would be on the line. And I got to find the equation of a line passing through these 2 points. So let's find the slope here first. Okay, I got 5,200 minus 6,800 divided by 7 minus 3. 5,200 minus 6,800 is negative 1,600. Divided by 7 minus 3 is 4. Negative 1,600 divided by 4 is negative 400. Okay, so the slope of this line is negative 400. Now, the next thing is I can use the point slope equation. It's not going to matter which point I select, right? Both of them are on the line. So why don't I just use this, this first point here, 6,800. Y minus y1 is 6,800 equals the slope, negative 400 times x minus x1 is 3. Okay, and if we solve this for y minus 6,800 equals negative 400x plus 400 times 3 is 1,200. So then if I add 6,800 to both sides, I have y equals negative 400x plus 1,200 plus 6,800. That'd be 8,000. Okay, and go ahead and circle that line. That'd be the answer there. And that they also want us to interpret the slope of the line. Okay, so the slope of the line is negative 400. What does that mean? Well, y is the balance, right? So it looks like each month it's going to cost $400 until the balance is paid off. Now, by the way, that's a negative. That makes total sense. There would be an issue if m is a positive, okay? Because nobody is giving him money to have a patio built, right? He's paying someone to have the patio built, so he's losing money. Okay, that's the meaning of the negative there. So it's going to cost $400 each month until the balance is paid off. Part B says, how much does Luis still owe after 1 year? Okay, well, there's 12 months in a year. X is the months. So if I take negative 400 times 12 plus 8,000, I'm getting $3,200. Okay, so that's how much he still has left to owe after 1 year has gone by. In part C, we want to find the x and the y intercepts. So I find an x-intercept is I need to let y be 0 and solve for x. I find the y-intercept is I need to let x be 0 and solve for y. So when we let y be 0, we have negative 400x plus 8,000 equals 0. If I then solve that equation for x, we'll add 400x to both sides. We got 400x equals 8,000 divided by 400. 8,000 divided by 400 would be 20. So x is 20. To get the y-intercepts, then, I need to let x be 0. And when x is 0, I'm left with y equals 8,000. Okay, so the two intercepts that would be on this graph are the points 20, 0, and then when x is 0, y is 8,000. So 0, 8,000 would also be on the graph. Okay, go ahead and circle that. Part D says, how much was the deposit that Luis paid? Now, in the information here, in this sense, it says, Luis paid the landscaper a deposit for the first month. Now, they didn't tell us how much the deposit was. Right? We know that it cost $10,000 to have the work done. He put some money down ahead of time. They didn't tell us how much that was, but we can now figure out how much that was. So X is the months, right? After 0 months have gone by, he owes $8,000. Well, that means that he put $2,000 down ahead of time, right? If the patio costs $10,000 and he owes $8,000, and the time hasn't even started yet, then he put down $2,000 as a deposit. Okay, and then each month thereafter, he's going to pay $400 a month. In part E, it says how many months will it take to pay off the entire balance? So X is the months, Y is the balance. So we need to know when he has a balance of $0. Well, it looks like it's going to be 20 months. Okay, so it'll be 20 months for him to pay off the entire balance there. Okay, parts D and E are really just kind of an interpretation of the intercepts, you know. So anyway, here's the homework that I'd like you to look at in section 2.1 and 2.2. And we'll go ahead and stop the video right there. Now, in the next video, we're not covering section 2.3 or 2.4. So I'm gonna cover section 2.5 though. That's important stuff. And we'll begin section 2.5 in the next video.